Buckle up because I am sharing it all. If you are the type of person to love to hear about people's lives, what they've been through, how they've got through, all of that stuff, then this is going to be for you. And if you could care less, then you might as well just skip away because it's going to be a long one. So let's start with my parents. My mom and dad went through their party phase, their drinking phase, their drug phase. They never were married, but they had my two sisters and I. They were never together when we were born, as long as I can remember. We were basically raised with my mom and her random boyfriends. The only thing that I really know about my dad is that he was physically abusive towards my mom, and so that's why we never really saw him. I don't really know. Maybe my mom was protecting us from him. Maybe he wanted nothing to do with us. I honestly don't really know. The only thing I know was that he was physically abusive towards my mom. The house that I remember being in was when I was before kindergarten, so you can guess how old I was. This is my first memory of DHS contacting us and starting to follow us around. So it was that early on. My sisters and I, we were always at other people's houses. We were always at friends' houses. And then I remember one day I was over at the neighbor's house and someone came over and got me. They were like, "Hey, Danny, you gotta go home." And I'm like, "Okay, go home." And the DHS people were there and they legit checked our bodies for like bruises, malnourishment, whatever, you name it. I don't really know, but I just remember being with my sisters and being checked out by these random people. And it was just the weirdest thing because you're a kid and you're with these strangers and they're looking at you, looking at your body, and you don't really have anybody there to explain to you what's happening. So it just kind of leaves a weird imprint on you as a kid. So from that incident, my mom took the three of us and with her boyfriend and we left. We skipped town. We went to a new town that was probably a couple hours away from where we lived, and we lived in his trailer until we got we lived in his travel trailer. So very small. I remember the bunk bed that we slept in was probably like 2 feet. And I remember one time like sitting up and hitting my head on the ceiling because, those are really small even for kids. But we lived in there until we actually got our own single wide trailer. And that's where we lived until my sisters and I moved in with my grandma and uncle. This is where I started going to kindergarten up till about second grade. So pretty much all of my memories are going to be in this trailer that I'm going to talk about. So it's going to be interesting because my memories are very spotty. And now that I've done a lot of diving into childhood trauma and how it affects your brain, I realize that a lot of my memories are repressed and I may not even remember what happened because I was so dissociated from a young age. Now, looking back at it, coming from a parent's perspective, the things that I got into when I was a kid, the things that I was exposed to at such a young age baffles me. And it's no secret that God was there from the beginning, shielding me from a lot and protecting me from more harm. Yes, I saw a lot of stuff. I did a lot of things. And I was hurt tremendously, but it could have been worse. And I'm just like blown away at how protected I truly was, even though my situation was really challenging as a kid.